Alrighty guys, welcome. Alright guys, let's get this show on the road for probably one last time for this year. As always guys, good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening, no matter where you are around the world. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, so possibly the final stream of the year. I think it will be, to be honest. I usually wrap it up a week before Christmas, and I mean tomorrow will be a week before, so I think this is probably the right time to call it. So for one last time, what we're going to do is analyze the charts on both GJ and gold. For one last time, I'm going to ask you guys to hit that like button and to also show some love by being active in that chat, saying hello, and feel free to ask questions at any time guys. And as always, we will do what we do best. We'll take a look at both GJ, gold, and any other pair as per request. Let's quickly take a look. It's a big week as far as news. We've had a lot of high impact news already. We've got some more to come shortly in about 8 minutes on the pound. So that's the amount of unemployment claim, or people claiming unemployment benefits, climate change. So that is something to be wary of moving forward shortly. Forecast is for it to be greater than the previous. So what that would suggest is, let's quickly find out. Let's quickly have a look at it. Changing number of people claiming unemployment related benefits during the previous month, actual less than forecast, is good for currency. So if it's greater than the forecast, or as per the forecast, then potentially seeing it's higher than the previous would be a bad thing for the pound. So we'll keep an eye on that to come shortly. In the meantime guys, let's get started and let's have a look at, as we always do, let's begin with good old GJ. So starting at the weekly time frame, and what we can see is forming still a strong bullish candle off the back of yesterday's candle. We've got a high low, high high to that previous weekly candle. Still scope for it to continue to the upside. What we're going to do is mark in the current weekly candle high, see what we've got above that level if we are to look for potential continuation buys. Now onto the daily time frame. Structurally it does still remain bearish, but once again we've formed and closed a very strong bullish candle engulfing this resistance on yesterday's candle closure above this resistance. So let's just mark in that previous candle, that resistance, the high of it, and let's see if we have retested it once we go down to the 4-hour M30. So we are bearish, but what we are doing is creating some high lows, higher highs within a micro trend. And we do have above the current daily / previous daily candles high. We've pretty much tapped into it on today's candle. Above that level, we do have some potential margin. We do have room potentially up towards that 196.70 sort of region. On to the 4-hour time frame. Structurally still remains bullish. We do have a little bit of margin by the looks of it to the upside. If we begin to break above the current daily candles high, just going to mark in that whole level for the time being, and I will likely be adjusting it once we go down to the 30-minute time frame. As far as support, well, we'll mark something in on the M30. I kind of feel like I reckon we've obviously had the closure above and retest, so we'll probably likely form support above this previous resistance on the 4-hour daily. So we've retested it. Looks like we could be coming back down yet again to perhaps retest it once again. So onto the 30-minute structure. And yeah, as we can see, we've definitely retested it. We haven't actually created any significant sort of pullback towards it. Just going to mark in that whole level. Actually, I'm going to adjust it to that bullish candle wick, because below it we've got some pretty clean traffic for potential sells. What I'm going to do is just adjust this zone to the upside. All right, so this is the current range that we're trading within on the 4-hour, 195 flat and pretty much 195.90. Very similar to yesterday. If you guys remember, we were stuck in this sort of area price action where we're sort of in the middle of a range and we weren't trending, we weren't moving. Kind of very similar at the moment. We've got high impact news to come shortly. So what I'll be simply waiting to do, and what I'll be looking for on GJ, is to wait and see how price reacts if it does pull back to 195 flat, and await at price action catalyst from that point there. Psychological round number lines up with this previous resistance here to the left. So buys above that point would be definitely of interest if we get the right confirmation to do so. Within the current daily candle, we'll form resistance at this level just here. Let's see if we got any sort of margin above it for potential buys above that 195, 550. But let's see what we do. So I would definitely consider it. It is the resistance on the 15 as well. So yes, buying to the top third, but what we would have done is broken a resistance we have most recently formed on the move to the downside in creating the current daily candle's lower wick. So if we were to begin to pop above that resistance with relatively clean traffic to the upside, there's a high probability at that point there that we will come up to retest the current daily candle's high. We do have the volume and momentum. Begin to break above it. We've also got opportunities for further buys. We do have some margin to the left hand side by the looks of it, so continuation buys potentially. We'll look further into it if and when the time comes. So that's the buy options, guys. Now as far as the sellers, so we're bullish on the 30 as well, so therefore the bias is technically bullish. We've got the weekly, 4-hour and 30-minute being bullish, with the daily structure the only thing bearish, but counter probability is the upside. So what I'll be looking for sells is playing the micro trend, so playing within the current daily candle, which is forming bearish. If we were to pull back within it and even briefly flip back bullish, only to respect the resistance formed most recently on the move to the downside. That point there, once again, very simple. Just need to look for a price action signal, a catalyst, and look for my potential sells below that support. So back below that resistance, so below 195, 520. Pretty much below 195 flat is where you're going to be looking for 195.50, sorry, flat is where you're going to be looking for potential sell options on GJ. And further options, like I mentioned before, if we were to start to pop back down to this 4-hour resistance, create a little bit of minor support only to begin to pop below it. At that point there, the sells would be also an option for that 194.90 sort of region. So once again, the analysis is quite simple, guys. Just all we're doing is determining levels that we want to get involved in trades, and then what we're doing for the rest of the stream is just patiently waiting for price pretty much get to one of those levels and look for potential entries. So that's both, well, that's GJ, that's not gold yet. We'll have a look at gold just now, and if you could hit the like button, guys, it'd be much appreciated. One last time, if you can do me a favor. Gold at the same level we marked in yesterday. Interesting. So is it now going to continue like that previous, the sell off towards the end of the previous weekly candle? So week bullish based on previous weekly candle. It's marking the current weekly candle's low. We have created up a wick. We looking like we are looking like we could reject. Look at that weak pause on the previous daily candle. So once again, if this was the 30-minute time frame or the 15 and I had enough margin to the downside, I'd be looking for impulse entries below the previous candle's low. In this case, we've got to look a little bit more into it, seeing it as the daily time frame. So, but looking at, however, on a daily, that candle is a weak pause in my opinion. So if it was to begin to break it, there's a high probability that we could head back down towards that 26.31 to 30 sort of region. Bearish in structure as well on gold on the daily. 4 hours also technically still bullish. Almost had me. It's bullish as long as it remains above this 26.20 roughly. It's not close below it. So we are still technically bullish, but micro trend is to the downside. We are once again approaching that support form towards the end of last week. That's the support. As far as resistance, it's just marking the most recent level, and we'll worry about any other level perhaps shortly. So on to the 30-minute time frame, and I don't want to leave that in, to be honest, because as soon as you break one resistance, you run straight into another resistance and then straight into the highs here. So I mean, just for stream purposes, I'll use that level there just so it doesn't look like big ISO of such a massive zone. The downside, same as yesterday, exact same zone. I'm just going to adjust it to the bullish candle, and that is our current range that we're trading on gold. So preferring the sells, the 30-minute is definitely bearish as well, so therefore the bias is technically neutral, but more in favor of the sells. Obviously, if we were to pop below, finally pop below at 26.46 sort of region, closure below, definitely want to see a closure blow, and then at that point there I would consider my sell options. 15-minute might suffice, we'll just have to wait and see. Seeing we are at before our support, we do respect that level. What we've formed is a support in a previous 30-minute candle. We don't quite have a catalyst. I don't have a bullish engulfing M30, nor do I have a minor resistance formed on the 15, nor do I have an engulfing M15 candle, so I don't really have anything just yet. But if we were to maybe even close this candle bullish, pull back, create a little bit of minor resistance, and then begin to break above it, now I would consider looking for my buy options from current support. So something to consider, buys from support. And further options at this stage is if we do pull up towards 26.54, that point there, I can look for my options to sell it once again. It's just determining the levels that we want to get involved. That to me looks like a very good level to get involved in these sales, and we'll contemplate buys above 26.56. Take it up towards the highs of the resistance, where once again we can look for the sell option. So that is gold for the time being, guys. Wow, what happened here? That's the news. So news has just come out and GJ has just gapped to the upside. Must have been pretty good news for the pound. Oh wow. Yep, so a lot less than forecast. So yeah, it's really good news for as far as the currency strength. So you can expect maybe a bit of a continuation to the upside on the pound. G also obviously climbing off the back of that. That's the analysis, guys. That's the easy bit done. Now comes the waiting game. So the good thing is GJ's moved to a potential level that we want to get involved. If it does reject, there could be options to potentially sell it moving forward. And if it doesn't, continues up, then we're going to look for sells higher up. So put sells from below 195, 820 roughly. So we'll keep an eye on gold for the time being. Apologies, guys. All right, so who we got? Franco. I think that's our chart. G'day to you. Welcome, brother. Beats, good morning to you. And Ian, good morning, guys. Oh, good morning to you, mate. Welcome. But no, it's just responding to a message. So apologies. Members, here is a link. Just one moment. So how was the first day of the week yesterday? Anyone managed to find any entries? Personally, for me, nothing. Didn't really look at the charts at all after the stream. Jumped on a quick call with the guys, but yeah, it wasn't a long call. I know some of the guys took some wins yesterday, which was good from the VIP group. So yeah, Bitcoin doing its thing yet again, breaking another all-time high. Kind of like gold and NAS, just continue to look at NAS. NAS is also absolutely flying. It's wait till this bubble bursts though, but I don't think it's going to burst anytime soon with all the euphoria over the potential with Trump to enter the White House yet again. Good morning to you, Lau. Welcome, mate. Bix. So it's pretty much the same thing as looking at NAS itself. See, this is what I hate. I hate these massive gaps, to be honest. For me, it's just really bullish. All I'd be looking for is levels for it to pull back to potentially form a support and buy it at this point. So you obviously got that 2210 sort of a region. If it pull back towards that level there, once again, I'll be looking for my price action catalyst. I have no idea how this thing moves though. I don't watch it. I've seen NAS and I know it's a beast. I'm assuming this is basically the same thing. So what I'd be looking for is just, yeah, the pullback. And look for a signal, look for your golfing candles, look for a little bit of consolidation and price begin to pop out of that consolidation and pull away from it. I would not be buying it above the high without some sort of pullback. I really would prefer to see it create more of a lower wick on the daily. I mean, let's quickly look at it on NAS here. It's bullish across the board. You've got a bearish previous counter closure, so let's see if there is any confluence to sell it. Look, below the support, I suppose that there's a high probability of make a deeper pullback, but the issue is when it's in such a big uptrend, it may just pull back to create that high low, and as soon as the volume kicks in again, as soon as the trigger is in the buys, then it could end up trending back up and probably likely at that point to create a high, a new all-time high. Very, very difficult. As tempting as it is to sell the downtrend, the pullback, sorry, against the uptrend, it's bought with danger. You really have to be careful. So what you're best to do is probably wait for a strong confirmation. So closure below, retest, resistance. Then your first possible entry is going to be likely here. Once you've made the first impulse down and retested that zone only to reject, that's when I start to trust it. Then your next best entry would be once it breaks through the support formed on the initial impulse below this current support. at that point now you do have clean traffic to the left, and it's a high probability once again will make a deeper pullback. So be very picky with the sells, and otherwise I'd just be looking for the buys. So buys above any resistance form, so buys above the highs, preferably want more of lower wick though, and buys upon the pullback. That's all I would suggest. Be very careful selling it at the moment, as tempting as it might be. Yeah, gold likely have to wait and see how price reacts to resistance just now. Abdul, good morning to you, mate. It's been a big year, guys. It's been a really big year. Suppose probably went pretty much to plan. Personally, would have liked to have had a few more viewers, to be honest, on stream. I don't think people quite get quality. That's my honest truth. I'm a humble person. I don't have tickets on myself, but I think a lot of people, we all know, want to flick around looking for signals, which is fine. I'm not a signal service. I show, display discipline and a training style, which I think is quite easy for you guys to go ahead off on your own and replicate. That's what I'm about. Eventually people will appreciate it more, I'm sure. Let's get moving forward. I have some plans in regards to that for next year. But I do obviously appreciate the support you guys give me all throughout the year. So it's pretty much the core group, same guys, and we get a few popping on here and there in between. But yeah, always you guys support me, so I do really appreciate it. Not easy to do, to put yourself out in line all the time. Once again, I'm not the most exciting trader because I don't hop and change looking for entries every 2 minutes. But for the most part, you guys know that, if we're patient, we're likely going to get an option. And it's going to be a very high probability entry. So that's what I'm about. All right, nice strong closure on gold on the 15. So at this rate, once again, I'm just going to need to probably wait and see how price reacts to the resistance. Could potentially be looking for buys above it, just depends, because we might not necessarily have the margin. Carl, once people realize trading should be exciting, they will see the quality. Shouldn't. Yeah, well, hopefully, because the fact of the matter is that trading is pretty boring, because 99% as a scalper, even as a swing trader, really is just waiting. Swing trader, for the most part, you're just waiting while it's sitting in your entry, waiting for it to, while it's just doing its thing. For us, it's about waiting for price to get to our point of entry and look for our confirmation to enter. And again, that's 95% plus is probably just sitting there. Maybe less than 5% of the time we're actually doing something. We're clicking a button, we're deciding whether to close it and profit or loss or whatever. So I'll definitely be releasing a lot of YouTube shorts over the time away. Do plan on also doing a few further educational videos going into a little bit more detail for YouTube. So just keep an eye out on that. Make sure to be following me on IG and all that as well. But I'm not really use it much, but I do intend on being a little bit more active on there. I've started a Threads account for IG, whatever. I've not posted anything, but I might start doing that as well. How's the volatility right now? Wow, the volume on gold, I mean. Nice strong candle forming. Yeah, that just continues to die. Is this Aussie dollar? It's pathetic. GU, very similar to yesterday again. When we were on stream, I think GU looked like it was about to break through a resistance. I think it was around here somewhere. Actually, just here. Remember, it rejected. Kind of doing the same just now. So interesting to see if it actually closes above and if it does make the move this time. So that level there is your 4 hour, the high for 4 hour resistance. And what you really want to see is a closure above, a wick, preferably back into the range below, and as price begins to break above the catalyst candle's high, that could be your entry. The issue is obviously going to be stop loss. Probably have to use the 15 and manage it based on the entry counter as well. GU is now at a tradable level. It's about waiting for the right signal, whether it be to the downside or the upside. And that's all we really should be doing right now, is just waiting.
Sound right, boys. sound right, boy.
We're a quiet bunch today. What's going on, guys? Everyone stuck in trades at the moment, or what's the deal? Tell you one thing, I gotta learn to speak Indian. That will Hindi or whatever it is. That will definitely get the views. Do a partnership. Anyone can speak. I think it's Hindi, isn't it? The language. Seems to be very popular. Joe, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, making a big move. Nothing I can do about it in the moment. Once again, I just need to wait. That's off the back of news, so really not much I can do about it. It's very hard to predict that move. Even off the 5 minute, got this big gap up on at the news as well. So chasing it right now to me is just it's after the fact. So I'd rather wait and see how price reacts to 195.80 and then for potential options.
Hey, good morning, man.
Franco, welcome, mate. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. And you?
Nice one. Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Just
Everything okay?
yeah, all good, mate. Just bored waiting.
That's normal.
Yeah,
So,
parts are moving, but there's no entry. So,
yeah.
how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm looking maybe on to take a buy on GU.
Yeah, I
maybe
just spoke about that before.
we have a close above the resistance, H4 resistance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, just
Yeah.
struggling a
the
bit at the
move was
moment.
very massive.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's your plan? You're gonna wait for some sort of
We
closure
need to
above or
close. need to close above. So,
Yeah.
and I will not take a sell.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah.
If your plan is to look for the buys, and that's fine.
I think I have seen that the Bank of England, the forecast is not to change the interest rate. The forecast is to stay.
Yep.
But it means this gives also a strangeness maybe to the pound.
Yep, potentially. That's Thursday. But the news today was positive as well.
Yeah, correct. So
Yeah, so it does bode well for maybe potential strength for the pound.
yeah.
So we'll see. Just over a minute. Joe, sell from resistance. Yeah, that's the more probable entry at the moment. And same with gold. So the issue with gold is there's one massive issue. That's stop loss. We're going to be looking at plus 40 pips based on the 15 with about 20 pip target. Once you count for spread, about 19 pips. It's hardly worth it, to be honest. It's already pushed some 70 or 80 pips. By the time it breaks above, you're 100 pips. Pretty much 100 pips just to get to an entry point. So I really prefer to wait for a bit of a pause just now. And the only other way is if price action dictates and provides a signal. So if it pops up, pops down significantly, breaks zone high again, could use that as a stop loss potentially. That's maybe one of the only things I consider. But otherwise, just need to wait for a bit of a pause at this stage. Seeing it's come from the low of the day back towards the resistance. Bill? Yeah, you could do that as well, for sure. Look at that. Wow, it's just popped straight up.
It was too quick.
Yeah, that's...
So made the lower wick and then spiked up.
Yeah.
No,
Because you're waiting, yeah, you're waiting for that confirmation lower wick, but it's just ripped. Doesn't make it easy. GJ,
it makes already the lower wick, Justin, at the beginning.
But then pop straight up.
No.
Yeah, I know. But by the time you wait for it to create its lower wick and then set the order, it's already gone.
Okay.
Let's go back to GJ just quickly. Make sure we've got the 4 hours are tricky. I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm not sure about that impulse entry. 50% of the 30-minute zone, which is the high of the 4-hour zone, is basically that point there. It has got a bit of a lower wick, so likely going to avoid that. So we'll see on gold. If this candle closes weak bearish, then I'd consider the buys for sure on the next candle. We've not even yet had a pause on the 5 minute. Right, the reason why we want this pause as well is because not only has it come from the lows, but also if it was to close weak bearish, like, so it gives us better option for stop loss, because based off, I mean, the 15 at the moment, it's just that it's way too wide. The only other thing you could do if you really want to try to get involved if it flips is just trust that the low of this range resistance will hold was to pull back, and shouldn't really need to pull back below that point either way. But for me, I'd just rather wait for that little bit of a pause within price action, triggering some sellers at this previous resistance, only to wipe those out so we can pop above on the following candle, and that's when I may trust it for a bit of an entry. The entry would still have to be above the actual resistance itself. So an IC markets, that is 26.54.08, so you'd be looking at 26.54.28 roughly. So that's potentially what we could be looking at in the next 9.5 minutes. We'll see. I only had a little bit of a pause on a 5 minute, that's it. Now for the sells, what I want to see is a strong bearish candle on this 15. Preferably closing back below the resistance. That's still not yet a signal because it's not engulfing. It's nothing against that previous candle. But then what I'd be waiting for is a little weak pause on the following candle, closing the M30 back below this resistance, and that will make it a high probability sell. Volume, the spreads are really widening as well, so they're between 1 and 2 now, spiking up to 2 quite regular 2.1, so you makes it even tougher because you got to allow for more margin between the high and your entry when it's like this. So that's IC markets, and IC markets pretty much has the spreads on gold. So right now it's sitting at 1.7 pips. So you probably have to allow at least 2.5 pips above the high. So you'd be looking at 33. I mean, this candle's about to break. If anyone's interested off the 5-minute, again, I'm not going to take it. It's not the way I trade. But you got the 5-minute closing above and golfing that previous candle. I'd suggest just going a small entry, stop loss below the entry candle, basically on the 15. Lower wick, and then, well, looks like it's not going to give that lower wick. It's a very tough one to trust, guys. Unfortunately, it's not one I do trust just yet, so not for me.
The spreads are very high.
Yeah, the spreads are crazy. It's difficult for IC markets for the spreads to be popping out to 2.2 pips. It got to just then. I mean, that's saying something about this time of year trying to trade it, because for the most part the spreads on IC markets for gold is about half a pip, and it's between 1.4 and 2.2 roughly. What's your spreads like, Franco?
It's 9 to 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. So it just renders it untradeable, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this is why, because you mentioned, so there's less volume.
Yep.
And so on. So it makes no sense really to trade in this time.
No, that's just from experience. It really is tough. GJ on the other hand, what's the spreads like on that? GJ's still okay. I see markets. But look at that. You pretty much got to trade based on levels at the moment, to be honest. It's very difficult finding quality entries. It really is. I mean, GU still is trying to continue up. At least it's trending in the same direction. GJ is making a bit of a pullback. Gold, there you go. Hence why I wasn't interested in the impulse entry, where if you did take it right now, you'd be getting wrecked. You wouldn't have got 10. So yes, patience pays, but also patience can save you from taking a loss. So in all likelihood, in this one, I've probably been out break even. So I think it went to about 7-8 pip profit and then pulled back. Abdul, because it's not pause, there's no pause. 5 minutes not sufficient enough. I've not tested it properly on the 5 minute. The 15 is what I know. The 15, if that created a little bit of a pause, I would be looking, you know, in the next minute and a half, but it's obviously not going to do it because it's, or even if it does, I'm not interested now because there's no margin once it begins to break this candle's high. But if that was the case, if the 15 closed as I wanted to close previously, then I would trust it, but it hasn't. So the way it's rejecting just now, I'm happy I'm not in it, because you'd be in and out, profit, back in drawdown. Would not be comfortable at all. And again, the spreads are just crazy at the moment. hopefully I may have spared some of you a loss. And we could have sells. Potentially. Look, we really want this to drop in the next 30 seconds to back below. And then wait for another little pause. Right, that minus support at resistance. Reason why I want to see that, because the next option is 30-minute engulfing, and if that was to be the case, there's no entry because you're back at support. You're also massive stop loss. So I'm just waiting a signal in price action. So we really want this to drop a little bit more in the next 8 seconds. Drop back below. All right, doesn't. So then what we need to see for me to consider an entry, want this counter to close back somewhat like so, with the wick into range below. That becomes our support. That's a minor pause. If we begin to break that, we're breaking back into the range below, rejecting this resistance by level, and we've got clean candles to the left. That could justify an entry as it begins to break below. So that's what I would be waiting for now. GJ 15, very nice strong closure. Don't have 30-minute confirmation just yet. Similar in GJ, but I would have wanted this to close again a little bit lower down. I'd want this counter to wick into the range below and only to close weak bullish. So the same sort of catalyst is on the table, well, potentially on the table as GJ, or same sort of scenario, what I want to see as gold. Very unpredictable at the moment though. Gold and GJ looking very similar at the moment. All right, pop down a little bit lower and then close back weak bullish, then there could be options. Beats NQ, what's it doing? Yeah, still, I wouldn't be getting involved in this. I'd be again waiting for it to create first impulse, pull back, rejection, and start to consider some sell. It's very, very risky against the trend. So for me, that's what I'd personally be waiting for. Again, it's boring. It takes patience, but it's much greater probability at that point if you are to wait for that type of confirmation. Because my concern could be just grab a little bit more liquidity from below support, pull straight back up, starts to trend again. I don't believe in trading gaps. I know, again, when I started crypto, gaps generally do get filled, but not always. So just be careful with that. Yeah, personally, I mean, that's just how I trade it. Again, it's the boring way, I know, but I think it's the more probable, the better, the safer way to trade it, to be honest. All right, so gold, it's either going to be one of a few options. Either this pops back down a little bit lower and closes weak bullish, like I said, wicking into range below, or it could be about, as long as we close in range below, it could be about the formation of the new candle, the London Open candle. So what I mean by that, if it drops, then pulls back up, creates up a wick and a decent one, then I may look to sell it as it begins to break its own low yet again. You guys are fairly familiar with that type of entry. It's something that we've seen work quite well throughout the year. So they're the options we're currently waiting on in the next 7.5 minutes on gold. But once again, you got to weigh it up on your broker if it's worth taking an entry, depending on how wide your spreads are. But you need to account for that. So usually I'm about a pip and a half usually is what the leeway I leave it from my entry point, from, let's just say, the low of this candle to where I want to get triggered in. To account for the spread today, it'd have to be about 2.5. 2 to 2.5. At the moment, it's about 1.2 pips, the spread. Joe, the resistance zone on M30 looks gold, looks a little different. Yeah, you could have it here, but either way, I want it below that candle open, that bearish candle. But you could argue even this level is preferable, but the entry point will be below that point either way. So strong enough confirmation for me will be there. So currently, if this is to be the lowest point of this candle and we are to get an entry, you'd be looking at roughly about a 25 pip stop loss, so that's pretty good. 2653.8. Yeah, that's the entry will be below that point either way. So really now will likely all come down to the upper wick at London. But once again, as far as candle swing price action, I don't really have it, to be honest. I don't have the engulfing candle. Not even on the 15. I don't have a minor pause support. It's breaking at the moment. So it really comes down to how the candle opens more than anything. I mean, this might close back bullish. That if it does, then you've got that minor support, and the entry is still the exact same point below the current 15. So if this closed back bullish doji, that would be good. That would be really good. All right, continues to drop. Tracking the low of the current candle. This is going to be tough again, guys, because you really have to follow it. So what I would suggest is track the low of this candle, wait for the new candle to create its upper wick, preferably down then up then down again. But I think it's a really strong closure, enough to give us, as long as it has a decent upper wick, give us an entry as it begins to break this candle's low. And I see markets is 26.53.18, 26.52.98 roughly. Yeah, so it's all going to come down to the entry candle. All right, this is good. Pop down. And now if it flips, want it to roughly tap into the resistance, and if it just drops, it drops. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, and it's just difficult, guys. It's really hard this time of year. that's a tough one to get involved. That's just dropped 10 pips below. So congratulations if anyone just sold it. Well done. For me, it's not an entry. Plan's correct. I mean, the analysis is correct. But again, doesn't mean you can always get an entry. So unfortunately, I do apologize, guys, but there is nothing I can do to get involved. GJ, nothing as well at the moment. It's not easy at the moment. It's just need to chill. Yeah, tough times. Yeah, charts look pretty shit across the board, in all honesty, guys. Don't see anything of quality. EU probably looks the best. Probably right at a lot of that support by the looks of it. Yeah, definitely EU looks to be the best. Again, it's at a shit area though. That's just nasty on the fly up. Very, very difficult. But the 30 looks clean. Looks pretty good if it broke its own low and broke the low of the previous candle. Everything else looks like absolute crap. GCAD. EJ very similar to EU. Doesn't look that bad. EuroCAD. Heavy consolidation at resistance, so not easy. Zip code, or what makes you think it's recorded, mate? Gold giving the upper wick. Yeah. Yeah, it's pushed a little bit too far, to be honest. Wouldn't mind if it's like 6-7 pips, 5-6-7 pips, but that's 11.5 pips below low. This is stream recorder. Where's it say that? It is recorded as I'm streaming, so you can watch it on playback and you can watch the replay later, but it should be live. I have no idea. Maybe that's why I've got issues with not getting viewers. I have no idea. No, it says here live. No, that's the stream. That's the win rate, mate. That's the record, like the results since of trades taken on the stream. That doesn't mean the stream's recorded. It's live. I don't know. Maybe I'll remove that for next year. I don't know. Maybe I'll have it along the top with the moving horizontal at the top with the information. Maybe I'll put it in that little text area. I don't know. Yeah, that's just the stream record. So this year, trades taken on stream: 71 wins, 18 losses, 11 break evens. So pretty much an 80% win rate. I missed a fair portion of the year. Didn't start streaming until April sometime, and I missed a fair bit, obviously, when I was away. Best part of 2 months as well in between. So I've only really traded for maybe half the year live. You can see it, mate. Yeah, maybe. So maybe I'll just remove that from there. Look at this. GJ has no lower wick, guys. Very tempting. Extremely tempting. No lower wick. Approaching a resistance. I think it's very impulsive, but it's probably by far the best option at the moment. So gold, what we need to wait for again is a little bit of a pause. The 15 at some point, without it completely melting back down to support. If we have, for instance, this candle closing like so, followed by a weak bullish candle on the next M15, that will give us a little bit of a support within still the top third of this 4-hour range. And if that was to be the case, as soon as it begins to break on the following M30, that could give us a signal. It could give us an entry on gold. GJ would be very, very risky. It's very tempting though. If it does pop back up towards 50% of this 30-minute zone at the top of the 4-hour, it's not even really, I mean, the 30-minute zones. Actually, let's go onto the 30. No, it is. I mean, that could be a potential entry point, 195, 860 roughly. I mean, you could go over it and just roll with a really small stop loss, if just above the resistance, and have like a 7-pip stop and just risk it for the biscuit. It's not the best entry by no means. Zip code just started trading Forex from crypto. Nice one. That's what I did 8 years ago now. Well, no, 8 years ago I was still trading crypto. Made the switch after about 1 year of crypto. Still do trade crypto as well, but obviously Forex is the focus. Yeah, potentially could do anything. Not going to buy it into the resistance. Beats, yeah, possibly. The only thing that really throws me off about it, I don't trust them, because they can at any point turn around and say you've violated rule number whatever, so and so, for whatever bullshit reason, and then you lose the account. So the only one I kind of trust is FDMO, but I've heard stories where they also, people have had issues with some rules having breached their account for something they didn't even realize they'd done wrong. So again, it just throws me off after my experience before with that 300k account that I had. Being in profit, being close to payout time, and having that thing pop up saying I was very close to breaching the account. Stop trading the account, and then they said I had hard breached by not trading it for 30 days whilst I was waiting an answer. I could not get a straight answer as to what was the issue. So I really don't trust prop firms. I really don't. What platform? What, the prop firm, or what I'm looking at right now? This is TradingView, if that's what you're talking about.
Hey Justin.
Yeah, mate.
I don't know, maybe because I was not the whole time in the stream. EU looks not bad for sales, or?
Yeah, I did say that just before. EU looks the best.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks the best. Nice strong closure. Not quite below the support, but it's closed right at it. It's pulled back into range above, now rejecting. But by far, this looks the best entry.
maybe I will give it a try.
Yep. Ride with a small stop loss maybe above the entry candle. You could, or you could have obviously the better technical option above the previous 30 or 15.
That's 5 pips above the actual candle, so it's not bad.
Yeah. Gives you a pretty, you know, pretty nice one-to-one.
Yeah. Because I on GU I think it's difficult right now. It's already rejecting
multiple times.
I don't know, maybe we'll come down a little bit to create support and maybe head up again.
Yeah. Yeah, to me EU looks the best. Yeah, I like it. Zipcode on brokers. I mean, you shouldn't have issues with brokers. You can trade however you want. There should be no such thing as consistency rules and all that stuff, or drawdown parameters that you can't breach and all that. I mean, you could go help a lever. You can, you know, go into 20% drawdown of a day if you really want to, and you know what I mean. It's nothing to do with brokers, prop firms. That one was, I've mentioned it many times, it's only scams, I call it. Called only funds. So it's funny because they were fine, and then as I went to take, well, it was approaching payout time, I started to see reviews, and a good mate of mine said, just try to get the payout like now, just request the payout as soon as you can, as soon as the time comes. And it got within like 2 days of it, and that's when it all started to go belly up. And I read all the reviews about it. People were saying the exact same thing. All these magical regulations started to appear that they were in breach of, hard breach of, which were never there to begin with. That's what happened. So that's what, you know, makes me not trust the prop firm industry. And I've been told by a few about FDMO as well. Occasionally they've had a few, but for the most part FDMO is by far the best one. I mean, I've had offers, I get messages on IG from prop firms about sponsorships and that, but I mean, I could easily just take one, get some cash from it or whatever, but I'm very picky. I've said to them all, not interested unless you can show me real proof of payout, real proof of everything. Because the last thing I want to do is promote a prop firm on this stream, and then for one of you guys to use it, pass it or whatever, go for a payout, whatever, and all of a sudden it's some bullshit breach of an account and you guys lose it, and then obviously you're not going to be happy with me. You'll start to lose trust in me. So I you know, I want to look after you guys. I'm not just going to start promoting some bullshit prop firm. You have to be very, very picky. Oh god. All right, what's EU doing? Yeah, I mean, for the most part FDMO is okay from what I've heard.
So I'm interested.
Yeah, okay. In like reverse. Yeah, I had some bullshit parameter pop up. Some total drawdown. The accounts, what the total drawdown in the account's been, or all of a sudden I was not allowed to exceed 8%. That's total accumulated over the lifetime of the account. Not floating drawdown, not realized drawdown. It was never ever close to it. Never. Like the most drawdown went in was like realized drawdown was like 1% or something. 1.5%. That was the most I ever got into actually realized drawdown, like closed trades. But for the most part, it was, you know, never close to any hard breach. And like I said, all of a sudden on my terminal popped up this thing saying I was very close to hard breaching the account. So I stopped trading it, waiting for answers. almost got an answer. They said it was a mistake on their behalf and they were fixing it, and they never fixed it. I replied again. They said I breached the account. I never actually breached it. I said no, their mistake again. They'll fix it. So I still, once again, I was waiting for answers, and then all of a sudden I get the message of heart breach for not being active for 30 days in a row. And I'm like, fuck that. You guys can go and screw yourself.
Now here in Germany, there's also, if you are not active with your account 30 days, so then they will withdraw your money back to your account.
Okay, well at least they send it back to you, not like a prop firm. They just
correct. And
so that's not the worst thing.
In addition, they send also 4 days or 3 days before this time expired, they send out an email to remind
okay, to warn you.
Yeah, but at the end, so the money is not loose. So
Yep, that's it. That's the main thing. Alright guys, at GJ, we could almost be getting the options for sells. If this closes below in the 15, that will close the 30-minute back below. Then we'll just have to figure out a reasonable stop loss. And we'll be targeting the support back around this 195.20. Shrift picked up a decaf T by mistake. Hey mate, I bet you if you didn't realize, you probably wouldn't know the difference. Alright, gold. Still dropping. There's no entry for me on gold. That's a nice surprise. Received a futures bonus for my crypto exchange. Kyle, pretty sure all FTMO got profit from news trade when I wasn't on a swing account. They removed the profits from that trade and put me in a swing account, but still paid out the rest. Nice one. Well, that's all right then. That's good. At least they, you know, completely toxic your account. So that's the thing, because you could think you know all the rules in that, but all of a sudden you do something which they don't like, and there goes the account. That's my only concern. Zip code? No, not really. I use the fib occasionally. Don't use the MACD. RSI, yeah, occasionally for crypto I do. EMA occasionally as well, a few EMAs. Even for the scalping Forex, occasionally I'll look at an EMA, but it's sparingly. Shrift, so that means I'll get my $10 back from that funny account. Still not trading on that account. Yeah, I want to know how it goes, mate. I'm waiting for you. If you need to let us know.
He was looking good, Justin.
Yep, nice. Sure, I thought I was so smart when I started trading and had all the indicators on screen. Yeah, so did I, mate. I had every single one under the sun. And to be honest, I mean, good luck to anyone who can use it to add confidence, but for me, it just confused the crap out of me most of the time. So for me, I could just use this, naked charts, maybe chuck on a horizontal for your potential entry point, and that's about it. Beats everyone knows that prop firms don't want traders who can actually trade. They make a living from traders who keep failing, and with that money they pay traders who, yeah, well, that's exactly right. That is exactly what they do. They reward the few that are actually profitable with the, you know, the money from the ones that keep paying for for challenges and keep failing. Sure, if that is the best indicator out there, isn't it? All right, so there's retail sales to come for the US dollar. All right, big one for the pound, CPI. Again, what big week. Hyperliquid, that's a fairly new cryptocurrency, I think. $30, shit. I remember when that was about to be launched on ByBit for $8 only about a week ago, and I wanted to get involved, but I missed the auction, I think it was they were calling it at the time, which is like the pre-token release on the actual broker, the platform, bloody prop firms. And I really wanted to. It was like 2 a.m. I had to be up for it my time. I can't do it. It's just, yeah, I'm too old to be up at 2 a.m. waiting for a cryptocurrency to be launched onto a broker. So I missed that, and look at it now. $30. Crazy. World of crypto. Zipcode, all good, mate. Appreciate it. This is probably the last stream for the year, to be honest. But keep an eye on the channel. Obviously, I'll be dropping some YouTube shorts. I'll be dropping some educational videos in between as well until the new year, or after New Year when I'm back. And expect bigger things next year. Expect a lot more people on stream. Got things that I'm working on with someone. So looking forward to a bigger year, better year. And this year was a fantastic one, really was. As far as trading wise, has been probably the best, maybe I would say probably the best year return wise. It's, yeah, I'd have to look into it maybe. I'm not sure, maybe last year was better. But either way, it's been a very good year. No worries. Appreciate you for joining. You go well, mate. Take care. Sharif, a meme coin's the same thing as that. Oh, as in volatility. Yeah, but at the moment they go through various market cycles as well. Zipcode, cheers, mate. So at the moment, I think it's all about the AI narrative. Real world automation as well. They seem to be the tokens and coins or whatever that are, you know, doing well at the moment. Obviously Bitcoin itself. The memes are on the back burner at the moment. They've had a pretty big sell-off for the most part. But I'm sure once again, as more retail traders get involved, the hype is just going to continue to grow. What they're going to do is jump pretty much straight into meme coins, a lot of them. Because a lot of them are easy to access. They're on, you know, platforms like Robinhood and things like that. Even Coinbase, there's a lot of meme coins listed these days, Binance. So I've hedged a lot of bets on meme coins at the moment. Leverage bets, not high leverage. And I'm just slowly, as they're pulling back, I'm slowly adding to positions. Again, this is more a fundamental as opposed to technical. I'm still using technical levels for limit order entries. But I'm just thinking is, you know, just this is what I'm thinking how the market could work. So I'm expecting the meme coins to get another pump at some point. So I'm building my bags at the moment while I can, while I've pulled back a bit. I've got positions on Pepe, which is pretty much all of you will know what Pepe is. WIF as well. Got WIF hat as like Solana's #1 meme coin by way of market cap. So easily accessible. It's on pretty much all the major exchanges. And a few other little plays as well, not as big a market cap, just in case they get a little bit of wind behind them. They'll likely pump a little bit more. That's across 2 different exchanges. And I'm trying to build these positions at the moment. All of them are in a little profit and one of them is in drawdown at the moment. But the one that's in drawdown, I've got 1 limit order which may be hit by now, I'm not sure. Not close. No, it didn't hit 2650. So that was after this drop, so obviously it hasn't hit. I've got another one just in case there is another big sell-off, and that's a low ball limit order, and that's at this support here, around that 23 mark, 2.3. So that's my thoughts on the memes at the moment. All right, let's watch GJ. There could be options. We are rejecting. We've got the 15-minute support, which we could be potentially closing below. And that could be the option. So we're going to now focus on the lowest point of the current candle. And what we want to see is for it to close below. We don't want it to melt just now though. What's it going to do? All right, there goes EU.
It's good.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good, mate.
Yeah.
Look at gold. Wow. All right, GJ looks the most friendly at the moment. Gold, a big drop. Hard chasing that without, again, another little pause. And it really needs to start closing below the support. GJ, we want it to close below. I don't want to pull back and close above because then we're respecting this previous resistance. That's not going to be a strong enough confirmation. Back up into consolidation. Once again, if nothing else, I hope what this stream does is also protect your capital, because he could have got destroyed a few times here today had you have taken impulse entries. Sure, if no volume during Asian session, yeah, it could be, they could be off by now. A lot of algorithms could be switched off. GJ. Yeah, so GJ's closed back above. Gold still above as well. Gold had a little bit of volume by the looks of it during the Asian session. Half.
Close 50%.
Okay, nice one. Nice one, mate.
Yeah.
No lower wick
And
as well on the previous candle.
And ZB.
Yep, nice move. So you had about close, pretty much 5, so pretty much you 1-to-1.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, it was 4.2 pips.
Nice one. That's good work, mate. Well done. Nice trade. Makes, by far was the best entry for today so far. Mr. Trent wants to buy gold. Huh? Yeah, I see what you mean, mate. Yeah, but not for me. Not for this old boring board trader. Forex yesterday, true. Yeah, yesterday was huge, wasn't it? Oh, actually, Asian session not a great deal volume on gold anyway. GJ, yeah, yesterday was, I don't know, yeah, a little bit more volume, not a great deal. All right, GJ, very tricky. Not trusting this at all. Oh, you're not doing it as well. Well, maybe an entry. Looks of it. Bouncing off the support, projecting resistance. Yeah, so for me, the only thing I would consider moving forward is this candle closes strong bullish, followed by a little bit of a pause, closing M30, a pretty strong bullish candle. And off the back of that, you're looking to take a potential buy as it begins to break the pause or resistance at support. That's the only thing I would consider. Because once again, bullish engulfing catalyst, as good as it might be, back at resistance, massive stop loss. So I need to once again plan and create some rules as to what I want to see just now. The only other thing is if this closed back bearish and it was followed by bullish engulfing, closing M30 back above, that is the other way I would consider it as well. So that would be the options. But I think that's about it, guys. I'm not going to get anything just now, so I'm going to wrap it up. Nor am I that fussed, to be honest. I came into this week not expecting to take any trades at all. Again, because I know the volatility could be a bit all over the place, the spreads can widen. So I'm not fussed. Personally, I'd rather end the year on a high. It's been a fantastic year. Just quickly, guys, I do once again thank you one and all. I appreciate it's the core, it's the same bunch. I know it's not many of you on stream, but you guys are here day in, day out, and I really do appreciate it. And I don't forget, you know, I don't forget your names. I want to give back at some point. And yeah, so what I would suggest is make sure to keep an eye on social media pages and that to just see what's going on. I will be dropping some YouTube short videos, and again, hopefully upload a few other videos, educational videos in between. Just quickly to everyone, have a very safe and happy holiday time, no matter what, you know, background you come from. Do enjoy yourself, do take care, don't get too drunk. Can't promise you that I won't. I probably won't though, to be honest. But stay safe. That is the main thing. Stay safe, and don't forget to join the streams when I'm back early next year in January. Been a good year, it has been. Yeah, that's about a wrap. Franco, thank you. Members, I'll probably jump on a call a little bit, maybe in a little bit of time, maybe half an hour or so. I'll keep you guys posted.
Okay.
Cheers, mate. But yeah, and if anyone is interested in any of the services, VIP and all that, once again, info down below. If you want to send me a message, do keep in touch, guys. Do say g'day. I appreciate you guys contact me. I do always reply to any message I get on IG and that, so don't be shy. But again, I won't approach you guys straight out because I just don't want you to get, you know, it could be a scammer. That's the last thing I want, is for you guys to get, you know, fleeced. I know you guys aren't that daft, so it won't happen, but still, you never know. So that's it, guys. Take care, have a good one. Do again, stay safe, trade safe. Cheers, guys. Catch you in a new year. See you, Frank. See you guys.